All right, welcome to Tech Plus 1.0 Concepts in Technology. This is 13% of the exam, so let's go ahead and get started. It's my goal to bring you the most relevant information regarding this new release by CompTIA. So, in terms of 1.0, the domain 1.0, it's important to understand that we're going to do an introduction of it, some definitions, the examples, some sample questions, and then final tips and takeaways. One thing to keep in mind with domain 1.0 is there are four parts. We are only going to discuss 1.1 in this video, so explain the basics of computing. We'll go through 1.2, 1.3, 1.4 in following videos. In terms of 1.1, it's not a bad one. This is actually a repeat of what we saw in the ITF Plus. We're going to talk about input, processing, output, and storage. So input, what is input? It's the first step in the computing process where data is entered into the computer system. It can be done through various devices such as keyboards, mouse, microphone, camera, or a touch screen. But keep in mind, a touch screen can actually be both, but it can serve to mimic a keyboard. Essentially, an input is any action that sends data or instructions to the computer. So for example, typing a document or clicking on a link are forms of input, as you can see in the picture here. All right, next one, processing. Once the input data is provided, the computer processes this information. Processing involves the computer's CPU, central processing unit, which is pictured here. This is an Intel i7 CPU. There are other manufacturers of CPU, AMD, and then ARM for mobile devices. This is the thinking part of computing, where the computer follows instructions or programs to manipulate the input and make it meaningful. So for instance, when you enter numbers into a calculator app, the processing stage involves the app performing mathematical calculations. Addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, that's what we're talking about. Output. So after processing, the computer produces an output, which is the result of the computations. Output is how the computer communicates the results back to the user. Common output devices include monitors, which display text and images, printers, which produce physical copies, and speakers, which play sound. So for example, when you print a document, the printed paper is output, or when you watch a video on the screen, the images and sounds are the output. Now, keep in mind, with a monitor, if it has touchscreen capability, it is considered both an input and output device. Most modern printers have scanners embedded. So when you have an all-in-one printer, scanner, USB port, printing capabilities, that's actually considered both. The nice thing though is that typically speaking with the Tech Plus and with ITF Plus, they ask very generic questions. So please do not overthink it. If they say, what is a printer? It's an output device. What is a scanner? It's an input device. What is a USB? It could be both. All right, storage. Storage refers to saving data and information for future use. Computer uses storage devices like hard drives, solid state drives, and memory cards to store data permanently or temporarily. So common terminology, permanently, non-volatile, saved if the power goes out, temporarily, volatile, gone when the power goes out. So when we save a document, it's stored on your computer's hard drive so you can access it later. Storage is an essential component for keeping data, programs, and the operating system that runs the computer. All right, so sample questions. Which of the following peripherals is considered an input device? For our first one, a scanner is considered an input device. Could a printer have input capability? Absolutely, but they're not asking that. They're not asking all in one. Does a touch screen serve as an input device? Absolutely, but it also serves as an output. Does a flash drive serve as an input device? Yes, but it's also an output device. So again, don't overthink it. Input, scanner. Likewise, when we talk about which of the following peripherals is considered an output device, out of our options here, the printer is the only one that is a standalone output device, as was previously explained. Now, to get it a little trickier, when we talk about both an input and output device, that would be our touch screen. So it's going to display an image, which is an output, but it also can serve to act like a keyboard or through your interactions through certain gestures. So it is considered both when we talk touchscreen. Same thing with a flash drive. We can save things and we can retrieve things off of a flash drive. So it is considered both an input and output device. All right, and then last but not least, which of the following peripherals is considered a storage device? Flash drive is the only one where we can retain things in a permanent manner. A scanner does not do that. Printer does not do that. A touchscreen does not do that. All right, so final tips and takeaways. Computing involves taking in data, inputs, processing it to make it useful through processing, presenting the results to the user through an output, and saving the information through future access, which is storage. All these steps work together to enable computers to perform a wide range of tasks. All right, thank you. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe.